is Ruckus. Thanks for joining. Please like, subscribe, and share. 10-8.
We have other information that we're not sharing, and specific to your question, Raphael, keep in mind that there is likeliness.
Okay, what's going on, guys? I don't know where that came from, but we'll have to do something about that. How's everybody doing? Got Mustang, Jill Mosier. How are you? Let me get this chat question. So if you guys have anything that you want to ask Mr. Collins, you can do that with no problem. I'm talking with Drew Collins. For those of you who do not know who Drew is, I'd be very surprised. I talk about him a lot. He's a good guy. He's a friend. It's Elizabeth Collins' dad. Elizabeth was one of the two girls that were abducted 11 years ago out in Evansdale, Iowa. And we're still working that case. It's solvable, and we're going to get there, I promise you. But I want to talk to Drew a little bit tonight to see what's up, Sleuth. What's going on, brother? To see, so you guys can see what it's like, what these families and victims families deal with. Some of the bullshit, the ups and downs and the highs and lows and stuff like that. I've got to actually meet some of them and talk with some of them, so I understand it. But I figured I'd talk with Drew a little bit tonight, and we can go over some of that stuff. So, without any further ado, I know you guys don't want to talk to me. You bring Drew in here. Mr. Collins. What's going on, brother?
Not much.
Does this hat make me look fat?
No, you look great.
Thanks. Perfect. I think perfect is the word you're looking for. A lot of folks are saying, hey, I don't know if you can see the chat or not.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'll put up, as many as I can so people ask you a question and stuff like that. Miss Olivia is saying hello. And if I miss anybody, I just don't want to be rude. That's all. Now, I put that video up when you went out to Seven Bridges and you put the dolls out for the girls. And where did those come from? Is that from just someone that reached out to you?
Yeah, a lady from St. Louis gave those to us.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, the memorial. So I took them out for Lyric's birthday last week.
Now, she would have been 21, right?
I think so, yeah, somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine? The big one. This would have been a big one.
Yeah. We missed a lot of big things. Graduations, birthday parties, Christmases.
Proms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you see their friends posting. Sorry, I lost you.
That's okay.
You see their friends graduating and having birthday parties. It's just, it's hard to see.
Yeah. Oh, no, dude. I can imagine. But you also get ups and downs with the cases. And recently we had one, which was kind of, it was a hard one to swallow. But there's still things to follow up with that.
Yeah.
But if you don't mind talking about some of the things, not specifically that one yet, but go way back, when this first happened, there was some hope and stuff like that. Law enforcement, did they keep you posted with anything? Did they keep you up to?
They at first more, and as things progressed, they don't want to get into specifics or anything. Naming names or anybody. They won't tell you if they're looking at a certain person. It's real general what kind of information we get. It's just a small amount, and then we don't hear if the person's been cleared, we don't hear much.
Hmm. Now, do you contact them at all, Drew?
They call me or I call them periodically. As time goes by, it was at first we were meeting with them every day for the first probably 4 months, 3 months, and then it got less and less. So now it's I usually call in every few weeks and just ask them if anything's moving on it or if anything's news going on or anything like that. So
Hmm. Now, I've been able to get to know people in both communities, in up at Delphi and Evansdale. And dude, I'm telling you, it's a 180. Your community rallies behind you guys. It was fantastic to see. Delphi is just not like that. It's kind of there's more animosity. It's kind of strange. Yeah, that's the way I was too. Um,
that's weird.
yeah, and you go
No,
out to your community and it's great.
we have great support. There's a big push around here to find out who did this, and people want answers. They don't want this person to do it again. So,
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. Well, you've got a lot of supporters, and I don't mean the town, Delphi itself. I went to Delphi. Everybody there's fantastic. I mean the online community.
oh, okay.
It's just not the same. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Now,
Yeah. Well,
recently, go
they
ahead.
had a lot. You know, I think they had a lot of information out there with the voice recordings and the pictures, and so I think a lot of people were speculating on who it was and what they thought happened, and it's kind of a circus over there um, on that. I feel like so.
Hmm. That hat makes you look a bit plump. You see that? Somebody commented about me being plump. Nobody said anything about you being plump. Just
You
me.
did earlier.
No, I said, does this hat make me look fat, not plump? They're saying plump. There's a big difference.
I don't think it's the hat.
No, my fat makes me look fat. Yeah, is what happens with that. But it, we're both friends with Larry as well. And just to get on this type of subject, he just had another case. This is like the seventh woman that claims that she was Amber.
Yeah,
And it looked really good at first. But as it
absolutely.
turns out, she's just a crazy. And, that's such bullshit for people to do that. But they're not right in the head, you know?
Uh, for Larry, that's not the first time, and it it's just a roller coaster ride for him. Every time that happens, it gets his hopes up, and ultimately every time it's been nothing. So
Yeah. I mean, I talked to him several times over the past month or so. And I know you have as well. And you could hear it in his voice that he really was excited that this, wow, this could be, what's happening. And then you hear the letdown, and it's heartbreaking, man. It's
yeah.
heartbreaking. And
Well, he was actually on his way to St. Louis to meet me to get a DNA sample from her, and that's when I was calling you guys to try to kind of get in the middle of that, and
mm,
because it's just a long ride for him to do that and ride all the way there. It's an emotional trip um, for him, and um, I just hated to see him go through that
yeah,
himself.
yeah, I appreciate you reaching out too, because I really like Larry. He's a good guy.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a bunch of bullshit what he's going through as well. And most of you guys are also subscribed to Mr. Steve over there, True Crime Web. He got a follow up on that rib that they found, and it's from a pig. So that was kind of a letdown too. So we got to keep Larry's spirits up, keep him going. I'd like to see him. He said he might be coming out this way. You said you might be coming to Florida. Do you know when you're thinking of doing that? It'd be cool if you and Larry could both come out.
This we both don't work in the winter, so It would have to be in the late fall, early winter kind of time frame.
Okay.
I was thinking about going, and I have a friend that lives down there. I was thinking about just going down there and hanging out for a couple weeks,
Right. All right.
getting out of here.
Sleuth has a question. After seeing what happened in the Charlotte Cena case, that little girl they just found. Do you think the killer or killers lived in Evansdale at the time?
I think they still live here.
I do
I
too.
think maybe family members are helping them cover things up. But yeah, they're definitely here. It wasn't somebody traveling through here or anything like that. It wasn't somebody uh, from somewhere else. The place that they were taken and the place that the bodies were found were very secluded, unknown places. So
Mm.
it's it has to be somebody that is familiar with our area.
That was the first thing when I was looking at Delphi and Evansdale, because a lot of people thought they were connected. That told me that they weren't connected. Because if you didn't live in Delphi and you didn't know where that bridge and that park was, Drew, you'd go right by it. You wouldn't even know it was there. You know,
Sure. Yeah, I
and
haven't
that
been there.
and then out by you, Seven Bridges. If you've never been out there and if you don't live in that area, you don't know where that is. I would never find that. So that
Yeah.
tells me they're not connected. It's two totally isolated incidences. That was the first thing that told me that. There's other things, but you'd have to be from the area to know where the Delphi Monon High Bridge is. It'd be easy to miss, and you'd have to be from your area to. Even people that live in Evansdale, I'm sure, didn't know where Seven Bridges was. I mean, it's 25 miles away.
I didn't know where it was until the police took me there.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. Um, People would throw kegs there because it's so isolated. You're probably not going to get caught. So that's where people party and do illegal stuff. It's known for a place where people cook methamphetamine because it's just so isolated.
Hmm. And it's a beautiful little area there. It is. It's
Yeah.
really nice. You know. Now, recently, just to catch you guys up, I haven't mentioned it to anybody, um, but a gentleman showed up at Drew's house in the middle of the night. Like, what was it, Drew? 10 o'clock?
It was like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
It
nine.
was uh, it was actually Elizabeth's birthday. It was on July 31st. Yeah, I just had a phone call from somebody, and they said they wanted to come and talk to me, and they came over and told me that story. Um, he said his brother and his son um, were a part of the crime. So
That's just came right to your house, right?
yeah,
And pretty convincing
yeah. I mean,
at that.
to me, I didn't know if it was true or not, but I think he believed it. Um, so you just never know. So they had like a book or like
A notebook.
a a small little notebook, and it had pictures and stuff about the crime in it. Um, but I don't know if that's really anything that's got any value to the case or not. The police said it was pretty childish, like drawings and stuff in there, um, but nothing that they could bite into. I don't think
Hmm.
that I.
Yeah. Now this guy said it was actually his brother and his own son, and
Yep.
his own son would have been 19 at the time
Yep.
when all that happened, and his brother had been in and out of prison and stuff like that. Uh,
Yeah.
I've checked this guy out. Not a very good guy. Maybe he changed his life around someday, but it doesn't appear that he has. But he actually reached out to you and spoke to you. So I mean, that makes me feel a little bit better anyway.
Yeah. Actually, my family had a business in Waterloo for a long time, and after high school. I want to say in the early 90s. He had worked for my family at the bakery.
Yeah, so he had ties to the family, the community. Now, did you know these guys, or was it until afterwards that you realized that you knew who he was?
Yeah, it took me a minute to kind of remember. Back then, I kind of looked into it and remembered, yeah, that he had worked for my uncle, and you know, I can't really see him doing that. I mean, he was, kind of half crazy, but I don't think he was like that kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, we just don't know. This person probably looks normal to us and can blend in well. But I I didn't feel like I couldn't see him doing that. But
Mm.
his brother also put himself there. The guy that was here telling me the story also put himself there on the day um, of the crime and said he threw the purse over the fence. And when he threw the purse over the fence, he said, Elizabeth yelled at him, "That's my purse."
Dude, that pissed me off. That part pissed me off when I found out that because that's what made it somewhat believable. Here's a guy who put himself at the scene. You know what I'm saying? He's putting himself in trouble here and
Yeah.
saying that he wants to do the right thing, and he kind of just disappeared. Let he had a business, he just let it go and all that. I don't know if he had a breakdown or what. But when he came to your house and he started telling you all that stuff, you called law enforcement and they came to the house, right?
Yeah. I wanted, uh, I didn't know if I didn't touch that book. They wanted
Mm,
to show me the book. I didn't want to touch it. I don't want to, I didn't want to see what was in there really. And I didn't want to take it out of the chain of custody. I wanted somebody like a policeman to come and take it. So I called dispatch. They sent over Kent Smock's son, who was our old chief of police in Evansdale. His son's a sheriff now. He came over, interviewed the guy, took the book into custody, and I'm not sure what anything happened with that, but that's kind of what happened.
yeah. And he made some of those statements right in front of law enforcement.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like when he's uh, that he was the one that threw the purse over the fence, I just looked at Smock, and he looked at me, and his eyes got real big, and um, yeah, I couldn't believe he said that because you're basically, not basically, you're putting yourself there while the girls are being taken.
Right. Right. Yeah, but that just goes to show you how many wackos are out there, Drew. Now, this is
Yeah,
not
this
the
is
first time you've dealt with something like this.
no,
Yeah,
no, it's
so
not.
and this is what, I wanted to have you on tonight and talk a little bit about so people would understand because I have met a lot of victims' families and talked to them and follow-ups and stuff like that. And it's sad. You don't really see it. A lot of us folks here, we're online and we're doing stuff, but we don't actually get to go see the people. Well, I'm fortunate I do and I have. So I understand, and you and I became friends, and me and Larry became friends, and I got to meet a bunch of people from Delphi and Miss Purdue. So I've met some fantastic people by getting out and doing this stuff. But if I never came to meet you, I never would have known that you were um, going through what you're going through there, and every year that you have that memorial thing, and to get to see the island, dude, that was fantastic. I was
Yeah, the
amazed at that.
island,
Yeah, so
definitely.
but you've been through so much ups and downs just with the investigation that it's I mean it's bad enough what you've been through, your family, your friends, and then to have these ups and downs with the investigation and stuff like that. It's heartbreaking. It really is.
we just want answers. Personally, I don't just want to know who did it. I want to know who helped cover it up. The people that knew and didn't come forward. I want to expose all those people as well, because if you'll cover up for this kind of crap and these kind of people, then you're just as bad. So I want to find out who did it, who knew, um, who helped them get away with it. Everything. I want to know everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it could be neighbors. All these years, been walking by you saying good morning to you. You know,
That's
look at.
part of the make you crazy if you let it,
Oh
because you
yeah.
don't know. So, there's certain people There's also certain people in this area that I'm suspicious of, and you might see one of those guys here or there. Uh, I'm always getting information from people about different people. People will call me and tell me who they think did it, and share that with me. So, I mean, I've got a lot of people on my radar that are around me.
Hmm.
So,
There's a question
some
from Purdue. Did the FBI ever share a profile of the killer? Did they do a profile analysis?
yeah, they did. They did.
And did
I'm
they
gonna
share
say,
that with the public, or do
yeah,
you
it's
know?
out there.
Okay.
It's out there.
Yeah, I think Steve and I were
It was.
talking about it last time. I haven't gotten a chance to get into that part of it. We're working a different angle.
I
Steve and
feel
I
like
both agree it's solvable.
I think it's kind of a generic profile myself, kind of
Hmm.
very vague. I feel like.
Yeah.
I,
They're professionals, though. You know? Yeah. That's what they get paid for. FBI. Those are the
oh yeah.
big. Those are the big wigs. Now, what is I know that you guys just had the annual ride. Do you do anything else during the
We're
year?
just one of the other things we do is we have a down where the bikes were found, where we think they were taken from. We made a memorial island for a few different homicide victims, quite a few actually. We have it down there. We have a child safety event, and it's basically like a trunk or treat. We have the police there, the fire department there. It's just a safe environment for young kids to do trick or treating. They go over to the island. They get do all sorts of games and stuff. It's just a fun time for the kids, and they get to learn about different safety things that they should know in their parents. We hand out DNA kits for parents, fingerprints. We have the police actually um, fingerprinting kids, and then the parents take the fingerprints home. The DNA kits that parents can take home. Anything happens to them, they have their kids' DNA. Um, they have a thing where parents at this event can learn how to properly install a child safety seat, um, bicycle safety helmets, all that kind of. We give away helmets, bicycle safety stuff. We just have different um, people come in that have different things to do with child safety. We have it right there where they were taken, and right at the island and stuff. It's just a good safe place for kids to do their trick or treating. And we and the ride actually pays for all that with the ride. That's one of the things we do, because
Dude, that's awesome.
cycle ride on the anniversary of the day they were taken. So
Hmm. Now, if I could, just for a minute, we have a couple people that have given some donations here. Olivia too gave $5. Thank you, Olivia. And she said justice for the Evansdale girls. Gail Hurd donated $10. Thank you. She did a super sticker. And Deb's True Crime Notebook. She's another creator. She's excellent. She gave $9.99 and put justice for Elizabeth and Lyric. I just want to give them a shout out, and I appreciate that. I really do. That helps out for me to get out there and do this kind of stuff. Although, occasionally I bump into people like Drew and have to talk to them, which is horrible, but, you know. All right, let's see. Let me get back to where I was in chat here. See if there's any more questions. Yeah, people are commenting about, yeah, it was smart that you didn't touch that notebook. Hey, and, everybody involved needs to be held accountable. And that may be the road. I mean, it doesn't happen at the top all the time. It'll start off at the way bottom, and they may be 10 people deep before they get to who. One of the family members finally says, well, another family member this, or a cousin told me that. And, if the follow up and all of that, it's.
They're not going anywhere. So whoever did this, like if you're listening, your days are numbered. Technology is just getting better and better by the day. Just that in the last 10 years, the advances in DNA, and they're just going to get better.
Yep. Turbo said hello. You've spoken to her.
Hi, Turbo.
Now we've get like I said, Steve and I are pretty sure it's solvable and it will be solved, and we're going to do everything in our power to help out. We can't, we're retired. We can't really do too much, but we can definitely provide information to police as we find it. And I'm not afraid to go knock on people's doors and talk to them either. I kind of miss that, to be honest with you. But that whole area, if if you take the park to your house, right, that bike trail goes almost to your street, doesn't it?
Not really. No, it kind of goes up behind the Fairway store, and there's like a Dairy Queen.
Mm-hmm.
You get on it off of Lafayette Road, and then it goes all the way down to Arbutus and back behind the park. So,
Yeah, it
I mean,
means
it's pretty quick. I mean, a couple kids could get on that pretty quick.
yeah, because when we were driving up and down the streets, just looking, checking out the area, where that went across the street, it looked like a road. It didn't even look like a bike path. A few times, you'd have to really know that it was the bike path. They had little tiny signs that had a picture of a bike on it, but
Yeah, you can barely fit a car on it. But you could drive on it.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it goes right through the neighborhood. Like I said, it crosses over the street in several places. So it's
Yeah,
not like it's all secluded or anything.
I
It's
mean, and
actually,
back at the time, it was a little more secluded because it was overgrown with trees,
mm-hmm.
and it is behind. It butts most of it. It kind of it's two different people on two different roads, backyard in the middle, and it's just kind of going through the backyards and through the middle of the different people's backyards.
Hmm.
I mean, some parts are secluded, some parts are a little more open. You get back there behind Arbutus, back by the highway where the bikes were found. It's very secluded.
Yeah,
You could be talking to somebody that's 5 feet away from you, and you can't really hear them.
yeah, with the
It's
highway right there, and
yeah, it's pretty,
and it's been trimmed back from since
yeah.
then. You told me because it's still secluded, but I mean, it's been trimmed back a lot from what you've told me.
There's probably half as many trees there now.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, there's Steve and I took the drones back there, and as he got, it's a lot further from where they found the bikes to the end of that fence than people think it is. I mean, that's not just 20 feet, you know, it's a lot further than people think it is. So I was glad we were able to fly the drones along there, and get
And that
people a better
that was
idea.
somebody just pulled back there on the grass in the woods, waited for him to come through there to a certain point. Maybe there was some sort of a trick to get them back there and coming around. And once they get to that spot, you got a 6 foot fence on one side, 6 foot fence on the other. If you're a grown man, them girls ain't getting away from you, and no,
No.
they couldn't. They can't yell for help. No one would hear them. So that's my thought: is somebody use quiet coercion to get them to go that way, like maybe looking for a puppy or something like that, and get them to go that way, and they just go around to Arbutus and load them up.
Yeah, and they can definitely in that area in particular, it is wide enough to bring a car or a pickup truck in there.
They could
Uh,
have just been by the woods.
yeah, right at the end there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Steve, while we were there, you know where that gate is near where they found the bike. There's that gate. He swung that gate open, and he was able to swing the gate, hold on to it, and hold on to the other fence. If you did that, nobody's getting by either.
Yeah.
You know, that would make it a little bit easier. Steve almost has a criminal mind, though. He scares me sometimes. You know, because he thinks of that stuff. He's just been around a long time, that guy.
So
Yeah, I can't wait to spend 5, 6 days in a car with him again. He
yeah,
drives
that's
like a
got.
maniac.
Has he got all 5 of his phones in his hand at the same time too,
Yeah,
or?
yeah. All five of his phones. I think he has two electronic pencil sharpeners. That guy has every kind of gadget you can have.
I just
That,
seen him one time. He had all these phones. He's got all these phones.
yeah. Well, he's in contact with a lot of people, and he uses them for different things. So he's he needs them though. He needs them, and he knows what each one. If that phone rings, he knows what he's going to do. Me, on the other hand, my phone never rings. I only have one, and it never rings.
Hmm.
I don't understand it. And I still have two friends I haven't even used yet. But nobody calls me. I don't understand it. I'm a nice guy. I'm quiet, reserved, unopinionated. I, I'm a delight. I think would be a good name for it. I'm a delight. But my phone
Oh,
doesn't ring. Steve's got five, and his are ringing constantly.
that ought to tell you something.
Yeah, he has too many phones. He has too many phones. That's what the problem is. Steve's a gadget junkie. He says he doesn't know how to run his Google box, but that guy is a gadget junkie. He's got a lot of stuff. He's
I
cool.
don't know what a Google Box is, so.
That's a computer. He calls it a Google box.
Oh, okay.
That's all he uses it for is to Google. So he says, before we get behind, I miss it. Gladys Kravitz gave 9.99 and said justice will happen soon. So thank you, Gladys. That's a cool name, Gladys Kravitz from Bewitched. I don't know if you
Oh,
remember that show.
I do. I don't remember that character though.
Yeah, she was one of the friends or neighbors or whatever. She was a real character. That's a cool name. Now, see, Purdue agrees. I am a pure delight. See there? See
Hmm.
there? So that's that.
How
That's
much?
all. Huh?
How much did that cost you?
Nothing yet.
Nine
Not
nine.
nothing that I'm aware of. What's up, Matt? Matt Sullivan's here. He said, "Love you, Drew. Here to support you, brother."
Thanks, Matt.
Now let's see, Gail. Oh, she says she's not saying a word. I see where this
Yeah,
is going now.
Matt runs our the one of our sites at on Facebook for the girls. So
Oh,
I
that's
work a lot with.
awesome. What site is that, Matt? If you want to put that in chat, dude, so people can join it. Is it a Facebook group?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to put that in chat, Matt, so people can join it. That's cool of you. I don't, dude. I don't do Facebook. I don't do Snapchat. Click clock. None of that. I'm not very good with any of that kind of stuff.
Me neither. That's why I got Matt.
Do you ever get on there?
I tried to not be on there, to just let it kind of spontaneously, whatever is going to happen on there
Mm-hmm.
happen. Only time I really like, sometimes the family members will call, because like we have different family members on there. They'll call and someone will say something, that makes somebody mad or something like that. That's other than that, I just let it kind of happen.
Hmm. Yeah, that's probably wise. Just let it run organically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you pop in there and read what's going on now and again?
No, sometimes that's just that's a bit hard. Sometimes I do. Sometimes it's just a bit hard to do that, but just kind of depends what's going on and what's been said. If it's something interesting to me, then yeah, I get on there and read it. But otherwise, I just let it kind of do its thing.
Hmm. Now, how long's that been around for? There's probably been a bunch of Facebook groups that have been around for a while about this case.
Hey, this one's 2 years, maybe a year and a half, 2 years.
Oh, okay. I figured there'd been some that had been around for a while. But yeah, Necessary Evil, there was mention of a white SUV, but even that hasn't been. Nobody's really
Every
got anything nailed down.
always a white van, it seems like, but there's also been a car seen over there, like a four-door car, also was seen. But yeah, the description was older style, boxy truck or suburban. So it could be a suburban, it could be a pickup truck with a, a cover on the top. What do you call them?
Topper.
With a topper or something like
Yeah.
that. It could be something like that. But the white vehicles, what we've heard quite a bit of. There three or four different people saw it over there.
Now, Ishi Garza said, Drew is one strong man. I don't know if I could hold it together as well as he does. And Miranda Lee, she wants to know how Elizabeth's siblings doing. How are they doing? And how are they dealing with everything?
It's been really hard on my kids and my family. It's pretty undescribable. There's not any aspect of your life if you lose a child like this that it's not going to affect. I mean, my friendships with people. I'm just not really the same as I used to be. I'm a lot more to myself. My kids, um, each of them have kind of dealt with it in a different way. We don't deal with it the same way. Um, One of my daughters really kind of deals with it the way I do. She just kind of is more to herself. Um, my son is really angry. Uh, it's just really an ugly thing. It's ruined our marriage. My marriage is over. Um, we can hardly even speak. It's very rough. You don't deal with it the same way your partner deals with it, and you end up becoming mad at them because they're dealing with it their way, you're dealing with it one way. Not that my way was right. I really isolated myself, and I still do to this day. Um, and that's just how I did it. I didn't want to be around anybody. I just want to be miserable by myself, I guess. And my ex-wife, she handled it differently than me. So it's like we just grew in two different directions, and it was just over.
Yeah,
And
that's too bad. I mean, you hear that happen. That just magnifies it 10 times over.
yeah. So there's a lot of fallout. Um, and then in Heather's family, the dynamic there's a little different. With the sisters, with Misty and Heather. Um, and that's between those two. I think they get along pretty good right now. But there's been times where they weren't getting along because different things. So um, just like the best way I describe it is somebody drove a semi truck through your house. And there's not anything that it hasn't affected as far as your life, your finances, my business. Um, sometimes you don't, especially early on, you don't You don't feel like getting out of bed. You don't feel like talking to anybody. Your friends don't know what to say to you. Um, it's just crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, you have to. I mean, you're obviously a strong guy. You're a strong person mentally. So you're doing the best you can. That's all you can
Yeah,
do.
it's ugly, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm doing okay right now, and but it doesn't go away. 11 years, 3 months later, it still hasn't gone away, um, and it's never going to go away. Especially, we don't have anybody to hold responsible for this, so that's a big hole um, in your heart every day. It's like this asshole is out there living his life, and look what he's done to us. Look what he's done to the girls and our family, and he's still out there. He gets to see his family for Christmas, or if he has kids, he gets to see his kids. And here, um, he's destroyed our family.
Yeah. And
I mean, that
your extended family as well.
is like hard to deal with.
Yeah. I
Anger
mean,
is.
when I was really glad to get to meet your mom. Your mom is a sweetheart. And I can just imagine what she's going through too. I have grandkids, and I couldn't imagine. Now,
Yeah, she's not really taking it laying down either. She's doing a lot, doing whatever she can too.
she's a pistol, dude. She is. I like your mom.
She's 4'11", like 100 pounds, pure energy.
I
80
wouldn't
years
mess
old.
with her. she
Three-
she was making fun of my accent, and I let her. I didn't even. I wasn't kidding. I wasn't going there. She scares me. She's a sweetheart. She's very nice. Everybody I met there was fantastic. But you went out on, which I thought was awesome of you, dude. Kudos for this too. You went out there on Lyric's birthday and set those dolls out. Now you have that little memorial. I took some pictures of it, and you took some videos of it and stuff like that. And it's just got like little mementos and remembrances of the girls and stuff like that. Away from, like, the park is like a sanctuary. That to me is more like a memorial there
Well, it's
out at Seven Bridges.
kind of it's in the parking area of where they were found. It's not really where they were found, but it's the parking area. Um, but you know, I don't necessarily want to be showing everybody where it was found, where they were found.
Mm.
Um, and it's just a place kind of just right close to it where they were found. So we don't have to walk through all the junk to get to it.
Yeah, I walked it. I was surprised how far back it was from that parking spot, from that parking area. I even got
Yeah,
lost going back there twice, but I'm a city boy, you know.
it's hard to think that somebody carried them way back there.
Mm. Agreed. Agreed. 100%. Well, we've got some things that we're working on. True. We'll never give up. You know that. Steve and I are in this for the long haul.
I will never give up.
Well, I know you won't, brother. I know you won't. You get sick of seeing me.
That happened about 20 minutes after I met you, Ruckus.
Well, if even that. I mean, if I
No.
recall, you tried to take me to a flooded Greek taco joint.
Oh,
And
the
so
Greek
that's
top.
where the animosity started right there. You tried to take me into a substandard place to eat.
That place is so good.
It was
I'll take.
flooded.
If you ever come back, I'll take you there.
Yeah, well, I don't feel welcome now. I don't feel welcome since you don't like seeing me. But I'll be back as soon as I can. I'll get out there.
Good deal.
We'll have some fun. I'm not playing hockey. Fuck that. But we can definitely hang out. Yeah, I liked your friends too. You have some good friends,
Oh yeah.
some good people. All right, brother.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get you on and let you tell everybody about from a family member's perspective, what happens, all these ups and downs, and you know, it's crazy the way emotionally, you're like this, and it's been 11 years, you know.
Yeah. And it's as time goes, it changes. At first it's uh unbearable.
Hmm.
Sometimes one minute to minute, and as time goes, you just learn how to you know uh, live with it, I guess, the best you can. But as time goes, that it does get better. You still have the intensity of it. I know where my daughter is. When you don't know where your kid is, I look at Larry.
Hmm. Yeah, that's the thing.
82 is a long time ago, and that really focuses me back to you know there's other people out there that got it worse. um, I can't really complain to Larry. um, Even though he's my buddy, I don't like to complain to him because he's been waiting so long. I was 11 years old when Larry's daughter went missing.
Wow.
um, and he's never had any answers. So um, and there's a lot of people that never get to bury their child. Larry doesn't have a place to go visit his daughter.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got to put it in perspective. There's a lot of people going through this, unfortunately. These men are out there that look at little girls or little boys like me and you would look at a woman. They get turned on by a little child. It doesn't compute for somebody like me or you. But they look at a child like we would look at a beautiful woman,
Right.
and you can't send them to prison and get that out of them. That's just that's in their soul. That's what they are. That's who they are. You can't send them to prison for 5 years or 10 years or 20 years and expect them not to be attracted to little kids.
Yeah, they're
That's what
not
they're.
rehabilitated, that's for sure. That's for sure. Now, Jeff Jones asked a question here. Let me go back to it. What's your best guess as to why the cops cannot get anywhere in this case?
I personally think they've got a pretty good idea who did it. I don't know that from anything I've talked to them about. I do think, though, that they probably have a good idea, but maybe they don't have that one piece of evidence that they need, and they're not showing their hand. They don't want to screw this case up because somebody runs their mouth. Um, they're very careful what they let out. Unlike the Delphi case, this has been really uh, pretty well managed. Nothing's come out as far as information. They've just kept it really close to the cuff, and I think that in the end is going to come back and help us. Where you see a lot of these other cases, those little things that got out come back to burn the police um, when they're in court. So they're just doing a really good job at keeping it, tight, and nobody knows anything. And I think once they get that piece of information, maybe it'll be a piece of evidence that they couldn't test 11 years ago. And now, because of DNA technology, they're able to test it. Or it could be a relationship between this person and somebody else goes south and somebody talks, or somebody gets arrested, somebody talks. There's a lot of different ways this could be solved. But we are just looking for, that one piece that that can bring it all together.
Hmm. Yeah, somebody just commented that, here we go, JMC, that DNA kit idea needs to go nationwide. Now, back,
Yeah,
Jesus, we're talking early 2000s. I used to volunteer and go in front of Home Depot and fingerprint and photograph kids for free. And
it's good for a couple reasons. I think it gives parents a chance to talk to the kids about the dangers of talking to strangers, getting in vehicles with people. And then that way, if heaven forbid, if something did happen to them, they have their DNA, the fingerprints, and it's not like they're giving their DNA and the government has their DNA. It's a DNA kit that you take home, you put in the safe. It's in a little cardboard box with the child's name on it, and in case of an emergency, that can come in handy.
Absolutely. I mean, DNA is it for, as far as evidence goes these days.
Yeah.
Well, there's been a lot. I don't know, because I know you're on your phone. I don't know if you can see all of the chats, but there's been a lot of positive remarks and condolences and stuff like that. Drew, we've got we've got about 100 people in here right now, and I haven't seen one negative comment, not one. So everybody's really supportive and they're pulling for you, brother. You know I am. Um, we'll keep working it. Steve and I, like I said, we've got some angles. We look stupid from far away, but the closer we get, you can see we're smart. You know.
Yeah, and I would just encourage everybody. This may be a horrible thing, but we've been able to do some good things. If they go online, they can look up Angels Memorial Island, Evansdale, and they can see a video of, we took uh, an island out there that was just junk, terrible, and we made it beautiful for the girls. We didn't just make it for our girls. We made it for the community, different people that have lost loved ones to homicide, and some different tragedies in our community. And it's just a nice, beautiful place. Um, that people can come besides the cemetery. We plant trees for people, benches. It's just really beautiful. So, we took something really, really horrible and, we're made something beautiful out of it. And we're helping a lot of other people that are going through the same thing, that we are. So,
That park is amazing. Pictures don't do it justice,
like
honestly.
Larry was saying before, Larry, never found his daughter. So, he doesn't have a cemetery to go to. So, we planted a tree for his daughter and put a couple plaques on it with his daughter's name on it, and he has a place to go now. Every year he comes here, he goes out, he sees the tree, visits it, and it's a place for him to go that he feels close to his daughter. And a lot of other people have stuff out there too that's similar. So
Yeah, it was such. I mean, to take such a tragedy and make something as beautiful as that and helping other people, Drew, that's what's awesome about it. Uh, Larry and I talked about that tree when I was there, and him and I did a show together. And I took pictures of that and put it in the background like I did with this one here. And it means a lot to him. It really does. And it's awesome that you guys have that there, and that people have
yeah,
supported it. Because I'm sure
yeah,
in
and
Florida, if that was Florida, somebody would have fought it.
well, the thing about it is, it's like you were saying earlier about our community, it's community built. There's only thing that we have tax dollars in is the bridge to get over there, but everything else is all donated. And people go out there on their own. My mom and some of her friends and some different, not just my mom, but she has a group of ladies that go out there and they're weeding and watering and planting flowers and all sorts of stuff. So there's always stuff going on over there. It's all community driven, and it's just a nice place to go. And then there's a lot of different cases out there. We got um, little markers on each little area for what it's for, who it's about, what happened. Um, it's a good place to go and reflect and just see some of these things that are going on in our world today, like the taking children and murdering children. It's just crazy to me. Um, my daughter and my niece should be able to go for a bike ride. There's just a lot of other tragic cases out there that are very similar, that they didn't get the media that our case got. They were smaller cases in some of them, but it's a way just to let some of those other families know their loved ones aren't forgotten.
That's beautiful. I love that you guys did that, and I was really taken back by it. Steve tried to prepare me. He told me how nice it was and all that, but until you get there and you can really understand it, yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing what you guys did there. But do you
Definitely.
guys have any other questions for Drew? Or Drew, do you have anything else that you'd like to say?
No,
Well, I'm glad your cat didn't show up this time. Jump in
I
there.
know. I think I'm gonna pick him up. He's
Yeah.
got a cat, so he's probably in his cat house outside.
Okay. Oh, you have cat houses around you. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well, maybe I will come back and visit then. I didn't know there was cat houses.
cat house that you would frequent. It's actually for cats.
Oh, my bad.
A cat house, not a cat house.
Dude, it's a mistake anybody could make, you know.
I'm not judging Ruckus.
All right. All right, Drew, I'll talk to you later. And I'll talk to you soon, actually.
All right.
And we'll get together as soon as we can, pal.
Thanks everybody for your support and following this case, and hopefully someday we'll figure out who did it.
Amen, brother. All right, I'll catch you later, pal. All right. You guys were awesome. You had some awesome questions. I tried to keep up with as many as possible. I try to take what people say about my podcast and learn from them, and people saying I'm spending too much time thanking people and talking to people and stuff like that. So I try to keep it down to pertinent questions. Before we leave here, though, I want to put that, and thank you, Turbo, for putting it up there. I want to put up the Facebook page that Matt's running for the girls, and I think it's fantastic, and I appreciate it, Matt. Drew's a special guy. He really is. And so is Larry Crum. They're both great guys. So if you guys get a chance to go there and support that channel, Drew has a Elizabeth Collins Foundation that I will also share on my community page. I'll be getting back out there just as soon as I can. But this case is very solvable. It's very solvable. There's enough there. Law enforcement is doing the right thing. But everybody knows that I'm pro law enforcement, so you guys don't give a shit when I say stuff like that. But they're keeping everything close to the hip for a reason, and there's evidence that they now have the technology to start checking out. So hopefully, we'll have something soon. And yes, Matt, Drew speaks highly of you. He's talked about you before. He likes you a lot, dude. All right, and the rest of you guys, I appreciate it. All the mods, as always, you guys are fantastic. You do a great job. If there is any negative comments, they never get to me. I'm sure there's about 20, 30 people every time I do a live that call me a fucking asshole, but you guys get them before I even read it. So I appreciate that. I get that enough at my house. I don't need that on my lives, too. So that is it for me. The next live I'll be doing will be after I get back. I'm going on the road with Mr. Steve until the 17th. So when I get back from there, we'll do something else. I've got one more episode to do on Delphi. Then I'm going to move on from that. And we're going to do some other cases as well. If you guys want to get a little prelim of what I'm working on next, directly after that is Curtis Huff. His name is Curtis Huff. He's still alive. He lives in Florida. Guy's a goddamn serial killer, and we need to bring him to justice. So I'll put a link about that in my community page, and I'll be putting up some videos about him as well. And fortunately, he's here in Florida, so it won't be hard for me to go knock and talk to that piece of shit. So you guys have a great night. Thanks for coming, and don't take any wooden nickels, ever. My name is Ruckus. Thanks for hanging out. Please like, subscribe, and share. I'm 10-7.